Welcome to the sugar bush. You can tell I haven't completely unpacked the van from my arrival last night. Still got a lot of work to do. But just getting in that driveway, that was a challenge in and of itself. So I welded up this little stove. At least that's what it's gonna be. It doesn't look like one now. But the idea is pretty simple, and I'll show that to you in just a moment. But let's get it over to the burn pile first. Over the last couple weeks, I've been working on this sugar stove, and I basically just welded up a frame, and I made a little ridge in here so I could put this plate in here, which is removable, and I can either put my chafing dishes down on this and run a fire underneath, but my original plan is to run a fire here and then have the chafing dishes up here with a little stack just to help keep some of the ash out of the syrup. So we're going to give this a try. The first and only other time I've made maple syrup, I basically took cinder blocks and made a rectangle and set the chafing dishes right in the hollow of the cinder blocks and put a fire right underneath the chafing dishes, and it worked just fine. So I don't think there's any need to get real fancy here. We're just boiling water, basically. I was going to put a little bit of screen on this just to keep the ash from coming back in, and of course the screen I had was plastic, not steel, so that didn't work. But that was one of the problems we had with the cinder block, is ash would come up and it would fall into the syrup, and yes, you filter it, but it ended up having a little bit of a smoky taste. This poor little guy is awful confused. He's not going to make it. It's freezing out. I wonder if I could give him some sugar water or something. Well, I'll leave him be for now. I'll think about that. A few years back, I was driving down the road, and this bundle of soda pop tubing must have fallen out of somebody's truck and was on the side of the road by the ditch, and I thought, well gosh, I should be able to use that for maple syrup hose. And it's not quite as flexible as the typical blue hose, so it makes adding the adapters a little bit more difficult, but it was free, and it's been sitting in my attic now for 2 years doing nothing, waiting to get used. So I thought I would give it a shot this year. Let's see. My idea was, if I could figure out a way to coil it small enough to fit into this pail, I could make kind of a running like you do with a rope, you know what I mean? This area in here has gotten wet over the last few years, and it's actually killing off a lot of the maples because they don't really like to have wet roots, unfortunately. So excited to come see what Papa's doing, huh? You can barely get through this snow, it's so deep for doggers. Cut these lines a little bit long just because I suspect the snow will be melting here. Seems a little hollow in there. Let's give it a try. Hate when buckets get stuck together. There we go. What you didn't see is I've been doing that for 15 minutes. And of course I took my snowshoes off, so now I gotta put those back on. Go back out to do 2 more trees. But maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to get through the snow without snowshoes. All right, let's give this a shot, shall we? The nights always get long at the cabin when it's dark early. Although we're getting quite a bit of daylight now, but without TV, I find that I spend a lot of time either reading or, like tonight, working on the videos that I made today. So I usually try to come in and edit up the footage for the day and put them into some sort of timeline. So River's outside. He's just chilling on the porch, listening to the wolves and whatever other night sounds are out there. It's 9:30, so I think pretty soon we're going to hit the hay here. So thanks for coming along with us today, and we'll see you in the morning. Good night. It's a little cooler this morning. When I first woke up, it was just about 0. One thing's for certain, the sugar's not going to be running. Along with the drop in temperature, it's supposed to snow today as well. It's already starting a little bit. Forecast for the next week is pretty cold temperatures. So clearly the sap is not going to be running. So they may have to reconsider pulling the pin and coming back in a week. Crows are pretty vocal this morning. So I think we're going to dump this fire. So the reason I'm building this fire today is because I painted all this and there was some grease on the, of course the steel when it comes with oil on it so it doesn't rust. So I kind of wanted to burn off just some of the paint and contaminants. And just to see how it would work. And I think it's going to work okay, and I definitely think I want just to build the fire on the ground without using the plate. So if nothing else, I can always use this plate as a partial top cover or a door too, for that matter. But I think this is going to work just fine in the long run if we can ever get the syrup to run. What's the matter? Are you freezing? Are you so cold? Oh, are your feet cold? Huh? Are your feet cold? Do you need to go in the cabin? Huh? Oh, you want to go in the truck? Why he loves to sit in the truck so much, I'll never know. But this is like his favorite place. He just likes to chill out on his bed in there while I'm working out in the yard. All right. You come out when you want. I'll leave the door open for you. One thing I can see already is the heat is melting the snow and the stove is sinking. So unless I want this froze solid when I come back, we better figure out a way to jack it up. I should at least keep it from sinking in and freezing down in there. The draft isn't great on it. A lot of the smoke wants to come out in my face, which if I had something to cover here, I think that would help a lot too. Yeah, I think that would help. Maybe what I'll do is cut a piece of that tin and somehow attach it. River's on a squirrel hunt. Where'd the squirrel go? Is he in the chickadee box? Oh no, he's just up in the tree. There he comes. Very brave squirrel. River, come. River, come. Come on, River. What are you gonna do with your catch him, huh? What are you gonna do if you actually catch him? River. Goofball. Well, this completely changes my plans for the week and getting sap. You're gonna have to wait till next week. It looks like it's gonna be. I'm gonna cook up some of these homemade brats that I made. These ones are, oh, just plain pork. So I think I'll cook them, and what I don't eat for lunch can go into some sort of supper. I think I need a coat hook right here. Right there. I think so do. Well, we're gonna come in, have a little lunch, charge up some cameras. I crashed the drone into a tree, so I have to replace some propeller blades on that. Oh well. Price of doing business, right? So we're gonna save 2 of these brats for tonight. Maybe make some jambalaya or something out of them. And these will be for lunch. And I suppose somebody's dog or Roo wants some. These onions that I cut up are so strong. They make the house smell, they make the cooler smell, they make my breath smell, I'm sure, but River hasn't complained yet. Lucky for me, he can't talk. And the coup de grace. Good old sauerkraut. What do you think of that, huh? Chips and dip. Some good homemade brats. You can see, wearing snowshoes, I only sink down a couple inches, but don't let that fool you. Well, I just ripped my pants. Somebody's getting a little chubby, apparently. That'll make it to the bloopers reel. I don't have any hopes that there'll be any sap in the buckets, but I thought if we have to throw the snowshoes on anyway, and one of the things that has been on the list to do is to cut a couple more poles for the bed frame. So maybe we will find something that will work when we're out on the trail. I got these snowshoes as a Christmas present when I was a kid from my folks. Probably when I was about 14 years old, maybe. Actually, these bindings, I'm surprised have lasted since 1984, but they have. Had to revarnish the snowshoes a couple times, but all right, let's go see what we got. So you're sapping that one? I'm not sapping any of them. Oh, go ahead. You're gonna walk on my shoes. Go ahead, you go first. What a difference. 2 days ago, I was in short sleeves. And today, I'm in winter coat and insulated bibs. Welcome to spring. Oh, sun's coming out. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Trail I've packed with the snowshoes is hard enough now. River can walk on it. Do you see that tree right there? Yeah, we tapped that in the beginning of the video. The only problem with it is an oak tree. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Some days, I swear, I don't know how I make it through this world. Yeah, nothing. Nothing. I think we're just too early. Just too early. This one's gonna be my golden hen. My golden goose. It's probably the biggest maple I have on the property. I'm pretty sure that one's a maple. I know it's not an oak. Looking at a couple of down trees, this one right here and that one over there would maybe work for bed frame posts or bed frame rails. That looks decent. It makes it kind of big. I wonder how far it goes into the snow. All right, there's one. There's one. All right, I'm ready for the snow to be over. It's getting old. How about some springtime, some summertime? Do you agree, Mr. River Dog? a cold one this morning again, about 0 degrees Fahrenheit. I think the old river dog and I are gonna pack up and head for the hills pretty soon. I'm taking a small engines class and I need to get back for that. And then in a couple days, we're gonna be back up here at the tiny cabin. Hopefully the sap will be running by then. So we're gonna go inside, get some breakfast, clean up, and probably hit the road. So if I don't see you in the meantime, thanks for hanging out with us. I appreciate you. And as always, we'll see you soon. Goodbye, tiny cabin. We will see you very soon.